on in the AI and data space, and where you see the space headed in the next, 5, 10 years.
Sure. Hey guys, my name is Shashank, co-founder of Gaia. Gaia is a open source DevOps framework to help anyone create their own agent nodes. Super quick, easy, 3 minutes, 3 lines of code, and you have your own agent node. And on the blockchain side, we are an inferencing network. We allow for the attribution, validation, and monetization of inference. We do that through a domain node architecture and essentially help coordinate easy matching between ML models, compute, and data, and create the incentive mechanism for that. You said the future of data?
Yeah.
I think the future of data, I think people are going to have already started wanting to own their own data and taking it seriously. You see kind of the rise of the kind of combat against OpenAI and the rise of DeepSeek and other open source LLMs. Now I think the future is agents. Agents are going to be able to encapsulate your data and allow you to actually, build businesses on your knowledge and your data. So, with that.
Hi, so I'm Krystyna. I'm the CMO of Cookie3 and core contributor to CookieDAO. We're basically a data layer for the agentic economy. So we gather a lot of data, packaging and APIs for builders to use, and also present it on CookieFun. Probably a lot of you here, if you're into agents, been on the CookieFun website, so you can see all agents data, including like social data, which is like mindshare, smart engagement, smart following, as well as like on-chain data, so whale accumulation or holders distribution. Right now, we're working on the cookie deep research. So for deep research to access our data layer and basically build data for the agentic economy. The future of data for me is agentic. I feel if you're not a dev or a builder in the future, you will not deal a lot with data because AI will process and access it for you.
Awesome. Hey everyone, my name is Ryan. I'm the head of business development for DataHaven. And what is DataHaven? Most of you probably haven't heard about us. So we're an AI-first storage platform secured by EigenLayer. And where we come into play is we're actually building a provable, tamper-proof, verifiable, and censorship-resistant platform for AI and AI data and AI agent data in mind. And why this is so important is if you think about way back when you were a kid, we used to play this game called Telephone or Broken Telephone. And when we look at what's happening in the industry with agents communicating with each other, agents leveraging each other's data to actually make very important and informed decisions, you run the risk of an agent actually using data that may have been tampered, whether nefariously or not, or data that actually isn't what it thought it was. It's not the actual source data. And so we're ensuring that any data that lives on DataHaven is actually encrypted and verifiable and provable. Because the worst thing that we can have is agents making financial, healthcare, business, life decisions based on corrupt or infected data as such. As far as where's the industry going, or where is data and AI going, I use a slightly different perspective behind this, and I use, I guess, an interesting term, which is today a lot of consumers overshare and undercare. And what's happening is people that are using ChatGPT or any of these other platforms, it's way too easy to upload sensitive data or any data where you think, okay, I'm going to ask a question, there's going to be some great value that comes out of that. But what most people don't think about, and I think this is more of a behavioral thing that we need to address, is how do we protect the data that we're uploading, and more importantly, how do we protect that data from getting into the hands of people that can use it for nefarious acts?
Hi, so I just came late, so I'm trying to understand the question again. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so the question was just, we wanted to hear a little bit about your elevator pitch and what you're working on in the AI data space and where you see the space headed in the future.
Okay. So yeah, I'm Kamesh. Ram not able to join, so I'm the co-founder. So Kamesh, core contributor of OpenLedger. So we are focused on data. So we are more like AI network for data. So especially how I see the future of data, because that is right now in the early 95 or 2000, like people started writing a lot of blogs, right? Because you get traffic, you able to get mileage, or you get some kind of money by writing content online, right? Because Google or YouTube, they use the data, but some way they will pay us back, right? We never mind if unless until we're getting paid. Unfortunately, what is happening right now, like there is no motivation for us to create more content. Take example of, like, recently I was just watching just one of the CTOs of OpenAI was telling you about their image model launches and everything. Someone asked a question, hey, where is the data source, right? Where you train the data? Like, maybe into YouTube, or like, YouTube is our own data, right? We created content on YouTube, but YouTube actually is paying us back. But these guys are trying to, use the data and train the model, and then, like, they never pays anyone, right? So data is going in a really worse direction, I would say. I think because there is no motivation for anyone to create more data in future, because we are not going to get paid. Whatever you write, so OpenAI is going to take a benefit out of it. So how to solve this problem? Because the biggest challenge is we can't blame Web2 companies also. The problem, even though if we give a verifiable storage or whatever we do, the fundamental problem with the model, once you fine tune the data, and it became a black box, right? We can't figure out which data is really influencing the model. For example, imagine now it's fine because we don't care. Like, we use ChatGPT just to write a blog on content and everything. As long as it's fine. Imagine the future is going to be a lot of special language model where it needs more transparency. Imagine like you have a healthcare model, and then like we are querying something like in what basis is it really responding to you. You want to know that, right? That's why this verifiability really plays the role. So the fundamental bigger challenge is on no one not able to figure out how the really neural network really is working, right? Because it is like our brain, like how we behave, right? We run, suddenly we jump. Very similar to that. Like now there is no clear definition, and this is the way neural network works in terms of data. So that is a problem that we are trying to solve. Be able to do something interesting where if you have under data set trained to the model, and then like out of which data set is really influencing this particular inference, be able to map that. We were researching for more than a year to figure out the attribution part, and be able to figure out some interesting, but it taking a lot of time. It initially take 2 hours to get the response, and then like now we made it 2 minutes. We are trying to make it 2 seconds. We are still working on that, but this is what like OpenLedger do. So OpenLedger is a AI network to monetize the data and build a special language model and make it verifiable. We'll take a Eigen as a leverage to verify the data. Yeah, thank you.
So now that we know a little bit about what everyone's building, for the next step, we're going to learn about what protocols everyone's excited to build on, and like what tooling you guys are using. For myself at IQ, we just launched the agent tokenization platform, and we built it on Fractal because of their AI VM consensus mechanism, which will allow for greater composability for people to build AI agents. But yeah, let's get it started.
I think, so what we're building on ERC. We have a unique kind of architecture because we have a like kind of domain node architecture. We're omni-chain. We're not a blockchain itself. We're ERC20. We have our staking contracts on Base. We have an eigenlayer AVS. So a little bit kind of a simple tech stack actually. But I think what we allow us to do really is it allows you any chain to adopt based on the domain. So we want to be omni-chain. We conceivably want like a domain and the nodes underneath it to operate on Solana, to be transposable onto across the other domains into the other networks. So yeah.
For us, obviously, we are an infra project, so we are building our own infrastructure, but to access our data, you need to use the cookie token. The cookie token is based on Base and BNB chain, potentially Solana soon. When it comes to the on-chain data that you can access through CookieFan and our APIs, you can access data from most EVM chains and Solana.
We're a little different, actually. So we are in EVM L1. We are secured by eigenlayers, so we are in AVS, but we're the same team that built and run Moonbeam. And so as we deploy and as we build, we're actually going to have this secure bridge, native bridge that sits between the two chains. So anybody building on Moonbeam has a fantastic and easy way to deploy any kind of storage on DataHaven, and in return, anybody that's using DataHaven as a storage platform can actually deploy their apps or dApps or whatever else on Moonbeam. We also do have an execution layer. So anybody that's using DataHaven for the storage can also use it from a smart contract perspective. Now, we are EVM, so we love the Ethereum ecosystem. It's open to anybody building in that ecosystem. So whether you're a platform build or a project building on Base or any of the other EVM platforms, we welcome you and your data. Yeah.
So we are more like a layer 2. So we're settling on Ethereum as of now. So yeah, that's it about our tech.
Short and sweet, nice. We often hear about the saying that data is digital oil, but AI needs mountains of it. Are we moving towards a future where the real power is in controlling that scarce high-quality data, or is it going to be a world where the really important skill set is going to be able to sift through those mountains of data and refine that huge flows of data?
Interesting question. I think, yeah, I like this question. I think the data is going to be oil. It already is. I think the greatest kind of con that the big tech companies that have pulled on us really is that they convinced us that the services they provide are equal value to the data that we give them. You know, I've exited other data companies here. I used to mine that data. It's worth a lot. And so honestly, creating the economy for data is very important. I think we're at a very fascinating time here when I feel like we're up, big data and big tech are up against a wall in terms of how much more they can expand. OpenAI hit that wall when DeepSeek came out because I think, you know, they trained for years. I applaud them for starting the generative AI revolution, but when DeepSeek came out, it devalued the entire premise that Silicon Valley always values, which is hit monopoly status, charge tariff rents on the data, right? That's no longer, they proved that it's a race to the bottom. It's a zero-sum game because I'm gonna use, DeepSeek probably cheated, let's be honest, but doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, it's out there. DeepSeek probably cheated, they probably used OpenAI to train, but now it's out there and it's free. And I was just in Shanghai and they're bragging about a $300,000 LLM that they're supposedly training. I don't know if that's true, but my point is zero-sum game. I think what's going to be valuable is you know, open source LLMs, keeping everything open source, and then owning your own data and creating the incentive economy so that we believe in agents. We believe agents should be representative of your data and you know, kind of the entire construction of how you want people to access that data. And so being able to monetize on-chain is important to us. And our thesis is simple: open source and keep inference on-chain and you know, allow others to build and flourish. So.
To come back to your question, whether it's like wide and deep data sets or being able to sift through it, in my opinion, it's both. So the real gem is going to be an AI that accesses a lot of data because it needs to and it can access it and look through it and pick up the best data to then make the best decision and create the best stuff. What we're building in Cookie for the deep research, we want to have external contributors contributing their data to our data layer, be rewarded in Cookie for it whenever deep research accesses and builds something or makes a decision based on the data they provided. So it's going to be incentivizing the provision of this quality data, but it's not one or the other, it's a combination of both.
So I wholeheartedly agree. And in fact, I'm going to say this. I don't think it matters whether it's deep or wide. I think what matters is how much value we can extract from that. And just as importantly, what are these use cases that we can actually use this data for? It's not just restricted to financial models, which is what crypto really feels like. We can use it for healthcare, for example, in tests and analysis and whatever else. We can use it in educational systems. We can leverage it across systems as well. Like I said in the very beginning, allowing agents to use each other's data to make informed decisions. That's what's important behind this data. It doesn't matter whether we have petabytes and exabytes and zettabytes and whatever else of storage. If we can't make use of it, and if we can't derive value out of it, and just as importantly, if we can't prove the authenticity of that data, then it doesn't really matter. But if we can build a world and a platform where this data is authentic, is usable, is valuable, then you're going to get that digital oil that you're talking about.
So, yeah, in my opinion, I'll try to just give us a couple of practical challenges that we faced on data. Data is always a huge challenge because I'm trying to build a solidity model just to help everyone to just simply type English and get the code so that we get more adoption in Web3. The challenge is on the data, right? So every model, like any vertical model you want to create, where it needs data as a challenge, someone have to really work. And then I don't believe on the thesis like the user-owned data and those kind of approaches, because Facebook almost launched Llama, but all of our data is available inside Llama, right? I think just crowdsourcing all the data from the people and then positioning you own the IP of your data, all these kind of things, I feel like shit. There is no point in doing all the data. The knowledge should be completely available because we are just browsing internet, acquiring knowledge, right? Data shoata should be freely moved, and I don't believe on giving IP and everything, but someone really put effort in organizing the data, then it makes sense, right? Not all the data are valuable, right? We can't say this data is valuable or not. It depends upon how much market is willing to pay for that, right? So imagine solidity model kind of data will be super valuable. Why? Because we have a lot of liquidity in the industry, but there is a challenges of a lot of developers want to get in. So if you give us a super easy model that you can simply type and do whatever you want, then it makes sense. Imagine if you can build a security model, right? We can help you act as a co-pilot or agent for you to make sure when you transfer the money, and then you need to cross check once again and make sure you're doing everything right. So imagine that has its own value. So we don't believe on thesis of just controlling the data by just tagging the name of IP. The data should be completely available, but as long as someone is really putting effort on creating the data, how we used to create a video content on YouTube, right? So we putting a lot of effort in building the content, right? But in something we have to get paid. Someone is really using it, making money out of it, right? If it is completely open source, not people are making money, then it's fine. As long as people are making money, then we have to get something paid, right? So I think data is always very challenging. It is not that easy. I think the models are not evolving. The same neural network is, I think we are last 5-6 years is going to be same neural network. Nothing is improving on that part. But the improvement is going to happen more on the, depends on the what kind of data you get, right? So I see YC invested at least maybe easily 300 plus companies on vertical agents, various categories in healthcare or ticketing and hiring and everything, right? So there is a lot of agent, but we have only one model. There is no any special model for each and every category. I think the data is a huge challenge, so the future is going to be more challenges also. I feel like the solution is going to be crowdsourcing of data from the people, so that be able to figure out and increase more data which can be useful. So that is what I believe.
So hopefully you guys have got a little bit of an introduction to AI and data and a lot of great protocols. To conclude, I'm going to get some more data from all these guys about their protocols so that you guys can learn more and get involved. So I'll start with, for IQ, our site is IQ.wiki, so make sure to check that out. You can try launching an agent. The fee is under $10, so I'd say definitely give it a shot even if you're not a dev. You can also follow us at IQ.ai.com on Twitter. And yeah, I'll turn it over to you guys.
Yeah, we're GaiaNet.ai. Check us out. We're open source. Go through it. Tear us apart if you want. But it's we're looking for all open feedback. Obviously, our whole goal with this is we're very Red Hat Linux style here. We want to deploy fast, deploy often, ensure that there's a network there that hits critical mass between data and compute that can support open source agent all over the world. We'll support any framework. The more frameworks, the better. So Eliza, Schizo. We've got plenty of frameworks that have been building, switched to us for inference. Check us out. We also have a lot of great tools to help agents actually thrive in an economy. We believe there will be more agents than humans in the next 2-3 years. Those agencies, banking, wallets, KYC, AML, and kind of all the tools, infrastructure around it. And we've already begun doing that with kind of the base teams, Eigenlayer, Coinbase, and I already said that, MetaMask, and a few others. So check us out, and yeah, happy to interact. Thank you, guys.
So we're Cookie. You can find us on dao.cookie.fun, or on X, it's cookie.fun, written as DOT.
Awesome. So you can find us at datahaven.xyz, datahaven_xyz on X. As I mentioned before, we're in build mode. We're looking for engaging with the ecosystem. We don't actually care what framework you build your agents on. It's the data that we care about at the end of the day. For me, I am all about collaboration, and I even love the term of co-opetition. I don't care if we're competing with each other. There's a way that we can collaborate too. So if we can build the ecosystem and we can do so from a data perspective in a secure, verifiable way, we're going to create a world where data really has a ton of value.
Yeah, so I think you guys can check openledger.xyz. Twitter ID is like OpenLedger HQ. So what someone wants to build a special language model for any category of business, I think we provide all the tools where people can collect the data and then fine tune the data. Like just think like just building a Shopify kind of application, right? It's very plug and play model. So if you have data, you can fine tune the data and launch the model. That even Web2 can do. We are doing in Web3. It's very simple. So basically, what we are trying to do, how to, even if you build a special language model, like how to get the model more transparent. So that is something is unique about us, right? If you fine tune the data, take a Llama model, and then like if you fine tune with Web3 marketing data, and then say if you're launching Web3 marketing model, and then like whose data is valuable, and then how to give more transparency to the people, which data is influencing the model. So, but that's why we say, so we are trying to be more like a transparent model, so that people can build various verticalized special models. So I feel like agent, so as long as whatever agent you build, if you're going to use the same OpenAI, it can do only few things, right? It can't go deeper. It can't. You will not get anything special out of it, because everyone try to have a ChatGPT wrapper. So what we believe the future is going to be creating more specialized models out of it, right? If you want to solve something on math, something on healthcare, something on programming, so you need a specialized model. So we try to provide the entire infrastructure to people to launch and build specialized language models.
So yeah, so thank you all for listening, and the next panel will start shortly.